me, hosted by Brent Fox. Um, I'm kind of doing a live, uh, excuse me, not doing a live. Obviously, I'm doing a live. I'm doing like a free format today. So basically, I'm just gonna talk about random topics. I don't have anything formatted for today, so I am just pretty much gonna freestyle this one and see where it goes. That being said, the first thing that I, of course, want to talk about is my Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, getting into that, there have been several news media outlets that have predicted that my Steelers are going to be last in their division, and that this is going to probably be the year that Tomlin has a losing record, and um, Russell Wilson is going to get benched by maybe the second or third game. All of that is ridiculous. Here's why I believe that it's ridiculous. First and foremost, the preseason, and this is for people that know football. Okay, um, the preseason in the NFL is basically for evaluation. Nothing more really than that. And to just, and I take that back, and to just kind of get some of the guys reacclimated to football. So basically, with the veterans, they'll kind of play like either a series or two, depending on how successful they are, especially on offense. And if they're able to drive the ball down the field and score, most of the time, the head coach is actually going to make a decision to have them removed, um, after they score. In some cases, the coaches want to see or evaluate if that particular offense can sustain being able to move the ball up and down the field. So after maybe the second or third drive, and that's usually in preseason game two or three. Three is a dress rehearsal, so most of the time the starters are going to play until halftime or probably deep into the second quarter. So in those cases, basically what they'll do is they'll just see if the offense is able to sustain a drive and also just make sure that the defense is firing on all cylinders, making sure they get critical stops, are capable of making the opposition's offense do three and outs, things of that nature, or even get turnovers as a bonus. But they're all just kind of they're still it still goes back to them evaluating where they basically are. Hey, Jared, salute, brother. Thank you for hopping on, man. I appreciate the support. I was just mentioning, what preseason football games are actually for, and it's for evaluation, of course. So, um, that being said, you know, most teams are going to have very vanilla packages. They're going to have base runs. They're going to have just basic passes, slant and go, not slant and goes, but like slant routes, in routes, out routes, hooks, curls, basic plays of that nature. It's not going to be anything real fancy. People barely do crossing routes. It's just an evaluation thing to where they want to see how effectively these receivers run routes. They want to see how effectively these tackles block defensive edge rushers or defensive ends. They want to see how well the guards do against defensive tackles. They want to see how the center can actually make the line calls and adjust their particular blocking in run plays, particularly. They want to actually see how well, a tight end can actually sell them faking a block and then going out in a flat or running a seam route on some occasions just to kind of see where they are. It's nothing really too it's nothing really too extravagant, to be honest with you. And with that being said, I am actually concerned about my Pittsburgh Steelers, but I'm not overly concerned because I know what this is. It's just an evaluation. Now, of course, the reason that I am concerned is because we've had people getting beat badly on one-on-one matchups, particularly on the offensive line, which is disturbing. And then also, as a result, the quarterback play hasn't been that great. Um, I'm not really overly concerned about that. I think that once Coach Smith has like an actual game plan, like week one, most of that stuff will probably be rectified. Now, here's what I will say about that. I do not expect, nor have I ever really expected a team that has a new offensive coordinator and two new quarterbacks to just automatically um, get it right out of the gate. This is a process. Hey, Tay Tay, thank you for stopping in, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for stopping in. Um, but again, I just wanted to. Oh, I'm doing all right. Hopefully, you are too. Um, but yeah, as I was mentioning, once Coach Smith schemes up proper plays for running, play action, just basic passing in general, I think most of that will probably be remedied. But, again, this is a process. You've got two new quarterbacks, you have basically a brand new offensive line, and those pieces are going to take time to kind of gel together. It's probably going to be looking a little rough from, I would probably say, maybe weeks 1 through 4, which would probably be like the first quarter of the season. But I think maybe come week 5 or week 6, I think the team is actually going to improve. And then once they do, I think that they'll again kind of hit their late season stride to where they're going to be a tough team to beat. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't really worry too much about my Steelers, and this is just maybe for other Steelers fans that actually want to watch this particular video. Again, it's a process, and then once processes are kind of involved, it doesn't go as fast as we would like them to. But if done right, these processes can actually yield out very good results. So I'm going to be patient with what's going on offensively. I'm not expecting too much. I do expect us to actually win against the Falcons week one, but I think it's going to be a tight score. I think that it's probably going to wind up being either 17-10 or possibly like 17-14. Could be that way. I'm not quite sure, but I know that it's probably going to be a tight, possibly low scoring game. I don't expect us to just kind of blow the doors off um, the Atlanta Falcons our first time out. Um, but I think that eventually we'll be okay. My Steelers have a tendency to just kind of rev up towards the end of the season, and then they just kind of hit a good stride after that. Um, but yeah, I'm very excited to see what Russell Wilson actually does. What packages will be featured for Justin Fields, because I know for a fact we're not going to let that type of talent just sit on the sidelines and not be able to contribute. Um, Jalen Warren has a hamstring issue, so I want to see how well Najee Harris performs, once the workload is once again back on him. He hasn't had that since I think his rookie year. Yeah, because I think they got Jalen the year after. But yeah, I would love to see what Najee does with this, with this larger workload. And I think that with him being smaller and seemingly a little bit more quicker. I would love to see what he actually does with some of those upgraded attributes that he has. I still look for the stiff arm. I still look for the hard running. Um, I look for him to still be a pile mover and all of that other good stuff. But I think that there might be like a little bit of quickness in his game. And in the NFL, you don't necessarily have to be blazing fast. It does help. Okay, it does definitely help. But I think that, especially at a running back position, for you to be effective, you have to actually be quick and elusive uh, for defenders. But I think Najee will take advantage of this in a great way. And I look for Najee to actually improve his rushing production. Usually he's right at 1,000 yards. I expect 1,100 at minimum. That's barring any injury. But I think that maybe his ceiling could be close to 1,500. We don't know. I would look for Najee realistically to be able to rush for maybe 1,100 yards and possibly, I would say maybe 8 to 9 rushing touchdowns and maybe 2 to 3 additionally in the air. Um, I do think that he could break double digits, kind of depending on how the season's going, things of that nature. But I look forward to seeing him perform. I really look forward to seeing how the Russell Wilson and George Pickens connection will work. Um, I am also kind of excited to find out what rookie, Roman Wilson is actually going to do once he actually recovers from his ankle injury, and later on in the season, just kind of see how he contributes. Calvin Austin is another person that we are excited about because he's improved on his route running, according to his wide receivers coach. And he's always had pretty good hands as well. So I look for him to be able to complement the receivers that are actually out there. I think he's going to do most of his damage in the slot, however, because he's a smaller receiver. Um, and then, Van Jefferson is still hanging around, and I think he's probably the most polished route runner that we actually have on the roster. So I look forward to him being able to convert some third and mid range, like 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 7. Um, and him be a dependable source, maybe even on, mid range first down passing plays. So, I definitely look forward to him being able to contribute and help the team as well. As far as the defense goes, I mean, there's not a whole lot to be overly concerned about, barring injury, of course. We have spectacular defenders on each level, okay? Um, we've got Cam Hayward at defensive end slash defensive tackle. Larry Okunjobi has always been a game guy. He tends to get hurt a lot, but he somehow is very productive. Well, I don't want to say very. He is somehow productive. Okay, he can show up in a game, and he can also help wreak havoc. We also have a guy, Keanu Benton, who is, who has at times showed great promise and has looked very good this preseason, to be quite honest. And then, excuse me, we also have what's my boy's name from Texas A&M? I'm I got his DeMarvin Leal. That's who it is. DeMarvin Leal. That's who that is. DeMarvin Leal. He was originally a defensive end for us. Um, he had a great first year, and then he struggled this past year, and now it looks like that he is poised to actually have a pretty solid year this year. And by judging by his play, barring any injury, I think that he'll be a pretty good contributor too. That's the defensive line alone. I have not even got to the linebackers yet. We do have an all-world outside rusher, strong end rusher by the name of TJ Watt. That's all I really need to say about that. And then on the other side, we of course have his partner in crime, James Highsmith. And I think that Highsmith, excuse me, I think that Highsmith is actually a very underrated edge rusher, and he's also an underrated outside linebacker. Highsmith actually is very fundamentally sound. He is a great tackler. He also he also is able to play contain very well in running situations, which gives Lamar Jackson a whole lot of fits. Like he does not do well when he actually plays the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm hoping to kind of keep that alive. Speaking of Baltimore Ravens, we have a former Baltimore Raven by the name of Patrick Queen. You may have heard of him. He is an all-world linebacker that played next to arguably one of the best linebackers in the game, Roquan Smith. Now, I think that with Patrick Queen actually being Batman here, I think that this would actually give him. I think this would actually just give him the stage that he needs to kind of show the entire world that he can be that guy. And to be honest with you, the secret weapon behind him actually being able to perform is going to be a Landon Roberts. A Landon Roberts is a tough, smart, savvy veteran. Um, he who's actually shown that he is able to adjust to most situations, even on passing downs. He's able to at least cover pretty well on zone. You can't ask him to do, a man-on-man matchup, but he performs in his zone pretty well. So, and basically what we do, of course, and everyone knows this, our zone blitzes, um, and then on quite a few occasions we'll have our cornerbacks go man to man. But I think the combination of Patrick Queen and Landon Roberts inside is going to be a huge factor for us. Of course, we have rookie Wilson. I'm sorry, Peyton Wilson, who he's been banged up, but I think it's more or less a concussion thing and not so much a lower body thing. So hopefully he'll be available to play come the first game of the come the actual first game of the season. So I think that he'll probably be okay. Um, but as far as the inside linebacking core, I think that's probably going to be one of our strengths. And a person that I should have mentioned, and I'm very ashamed of myself for not doing so, is a gentleman by the name of Nick Herbig. He's number 51 on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's also an outside rusher. Um, he he has very, very good promise and potential. It is going to be scary between him, Highsmith, and TJ Watt, who is actually going to get the reps that they need. I think that is probably going to affect Highsmith a little bit more than it would TJ, of course, who can pretty much call his own shots because he should have been three-time league MVP or defensive player of the year, excuse me, three-time defensive player of the year. Um, but yeah, it is. I think there are going to be some tough decisions that have to be made probably come the end of this season, as far as what we're doing with Highsmith. If we keep Herbig, or if someone offers Herbig a big contract, because I believe that he's probably going to have somewhat of a breakout year, and people are going to take notice. They're definitely going to take notice. That guy's awesome. Um, and then we've gotten to our secondary. Of course, we have Joey Porter Jr. He is a physical bump and run corner who likes to play man to man. and lock up, your best receiver. On the other side, we have Dante Jackson, who is a good zone coverage corner. He's very fast, but and I won't lie, he worries me a little bit in man coverage. But I think that I think that he'll still be okay despite that, um, because we also have another corner. What is Trice's first name? Um, oh my goodness. Okay, we have another cornerback named whose last name is Trice. He's actually pretty good. Corey Trice Jr. I'm sorry. So Trice is actually a very long corner. He's about 6'1", 6'2", and he is physical, just like Joey Porter Jr. And I think he's just as fast, if not a little bit faster, too. So I look for him to actually be able to contribute. He looked very good until he actually had a season-ending injury in training camp last year. So I can't wait to see what he actually does out there, backing up some of our guys on the edge. Now, nickel corner is a huge concern. We do have a gentleman by the name of Beanie. Why am I saying Beanie Wells? Uh, Beanie is from West Virginia, and I cannot think of Beanie's last name. It'll come to me. But we have him. We had a guy, I think it was a Landon Scott, but he got hurt. He's done for the season. And who was at nickel corner? Um, Shoot. I forget the guy's name, but he was at nickel corner. Y'all charge it to my head and not my heart. I'm having a freestyle all of this, and sometimes the information will get jumbled up. Still my fault, but hey, it is what it is, right? Okay. But yeah, I think nickel corner is probably going to be an issue. Of course, Cam Sutton is out for 8 games because of domestic violence issues in the off season. So nickel corner may be a bit of a concern, but I think Beanie Wells, who I was thinking about, should be okay by the Atlanta game, which of course is the first game of the season. Now, what I am, what I'm not actually concerned about, and what I'm actually happy to report is that we have another safety, which is more or less like a strong safety type, okay? Which would allow our all-world safety, Minka Fitzpatrick, to just kind of roam the field and do what he kind of does. Um, Deshaun Elliott was a good pickup for us. He's going to allow Minka to do a lot of things, and barring any injury, I really believe Minka will return to T-O-P, top safety form in the NFL. Like he's going to be one of the top three if Elliott stays healthy and does what he's supposed to do. I think that you have to have that type of guy in there to help complement Minka to make his job a lot easier. And I think that Minka can get a lot of splash plays, including a lot of turnovers. Once Deshaun can actually just do his thing, hold things down, and allow Minka to just kind of roam the field. Um, so I'm very excited about that. So we got guys on all levels on defense, from the defensive line to the linebacking core to the the defensive backfield that can make plays. So lots and lots to be excited about as far as defense goes. We've actually had a very good defense despite the offense not being very good for the past few seasons. So I expect this offense, the way that it's designed, to eventually make things a lot easier for the defense. And when you make things a lot easier for the defense, they perform better. Um, and I also think that with Coach Tomlin's leadership. And wait. I'm sorry. Not to jump ahead of myself here. What am I thinking about, man? Special teams is actually going to be pretty good too. We picked up a legendary kick returner, Cordell Patterson. We already have Calvin Austin um, back there returning punts and kicks. So him along with Cordero Patterson, that should be fun to watch, especially with this new dynamic kickoff rule to where you kick the ball off and then the ball actually has to land in the landing zone before anybody could actually move or do anything. So I'm very excited to kind of see the results of that. I think that we'll probably be able to return quite a few kicks. I think that defensive special teams, such as of course, the punt return, punt blocking, and field goal blocking, I think those will be excited because, of course, we have. Oh my God, what's my guy's name? I'm looking dead at him in my head. Um, He's our backup safety. Jeez Louise, and he made the Pro Bowl for he made the special teams Pro Bowl. It'll come back to me, just like Beanie Wells did. So yeah, it'll come back. Anyway, I look forward to us being able to block kicks, make a few splash plays defensively on special teams, and hopefully be able to get some great returns, like quite literally great returns, offensively on special teams as well. So I definitely, look forward to seeing what those results yield. And with a special teams coach like Coach April, like Coach Bobby April, who has been doing this, I know, for at least 3 decades, because I remember him coaching the Falcons back in the 90s. Um, but yeah, I think with Coach April, man, he'll have these guys ready to play special teams, both defending and also returning. So I can't wait to see what he actually has up his sleeves for this particular season because of the dynamic kickoff and things of that nature. All right, so on to possibly another subject here. Um, I'll probably talk about, yeah, I mean, I guess I could talk about boxing briefly. There's no real news like on the real on the professional boxing side. I mean, there are several. Well, I'm sorry. Floyd is supposed to be fighting Gotti's grandson again. I think this is the second or third one. So he's doing an exhibition. Uh, I'm not gonna lie. Floyd Mayweather was one of my favorite active fighters when he was actually fighting professionally. Of course, I was a fan of Pretty Boy Floyd. Even though Floyd Money Mayweather amused me, I had a deep admiration and a deep respect for Pretty Boy Floyd, um, who knocked out my guy Diego Corrales. He beat up on my other guy, Demarcus Chop Chop Corley. And I think some of that, and some people thought that Corley actually won that fight. I don't know how, but they do. But yeah, the when oh and yeah, him messing up Gotti. Now that I think about it, was he was Pretty Boy Floyd back then. That was right before. Well, not right before. That was before he fought De La Hoya. Um, when he fought De La Hoya, and like immediately after he fought De La Hoya, he was Floyd Money Mayweather. But Pretty Boy Floyd, I was a huge fan of. Okay, and Pretty Boy Floyd would take chances, just like he did against Diego Corrales, and he was a known knockout artist. Like he would get guys badly hurt and then get them out of there. But I think because of his brittle hands, that pretty much made him have to change his style to be more defensively conscious. And then, of course, as you get older, it gets a little bit harder to like keep your weight real low. So of course, you have to move up, as you naturally age and progress. But nonetheless, yes, I was a fan of Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather. Money Mayweather was amusing. Now, I was actually a fan of his defensive tactics. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. He was very good at implementing the Philly shell defense that he actually had. He was very elusive. He also played chess with his opponents, just being able to time their movements and being able to catch them perfectly with a beautifully thrown right hand that was spot on each and every time. It was deadly accurate. And then, who could forget about the jab to the body that was also debilitating as well. Um, so, yeah, he is, I will say in his era when he was actually fighting, other men that were professional fighters and champions and things of that nature, he was great. This particular exhibition thing, I mean, it's for entertainment purposes. Um, I even though I may not be watching it, I'm not going to discourage others from doing so. But that type of thing is just not my cup of tea. I definitely am on the BFTB train, which is the best fight the best. I'm definitely in it for that. Speaking of such, there's a lot of back and forth going on about Tank fighting Shakur, which is not going to happen. And then, of course, there are different quote unquote reasons why it's not happening, things of that nature, which, quite frankly, I'm sick of. The business of boxing has repeatedly reared its ugly head and prevented us from seeing the fights as fans that we actually want to see. Um, and then we have to put up with BS from, quote unquote, the face of boxing, one Canelo Alvarez, who cherry picks opponent after opponent. And as much as I disapprove of this matchup with Berlanga, and as much as I don't think Berlanga is a great opponent for Canelo, I certainly hope that the fight turns out to be good. Also certainly hope that Berlanga upsets Canelo. I am sick of this behavior to where Canelo Alvarez Productions has Canelo Alvarez, the fighter, fight these hand-picked fights. Expect people to still be supportive of that, and just pretty much gives a big, fuck you to the fans, and I'm gonna do what I want anyway, type of bullshit. This video is not made for kids, by the way, and that is why. Every time, every time I have to speak about Canelo Alvarez Productions, there is an emotional flare-up because I have a deep respect for Canelo Alvarez, the fighter. I do not respect Canelo Alvarez Promotions. And once again, as a true boxing fan, I want to let you know that what you're doing is fucked up, and fuck you very much. And I will not be buying any more of your bullshit fights. Excuse me. I will not be buying any more of your bullshit fights. I will not be doing content on the bullshit fights. And needless to say, I barely speak on the bullshit fights, and I'm gonna just end it at that. Until you actually fight David Benavidez, I'm not I'm not getting behind that shit. Like, you're probably gonna wind up, and Canelo Alvarez Promotions is probably gonna wind up fighting in Billy next, hot off the win that he had. Um, from Sergey Derenchenko. Oh man. Yeah, that's exactly what the fuck they're doing. Like, you know, at this point, you either fight who you're supposed to fight, or it's fuck you too. You know, I'm sick of you just. I'm sick of Canelo Alvarez production saying fuck you to the fans and then expecting us to still support him. Nah, fuck you. All right, I'm not supporting shit you doing until you do the right thing. Yeah. Shout out to Spike Lee. And on that particular note, you know, I would hope that eventually Terrence Bud Crawford and Jerron Booth Ennis do fight. Um, these two men seem ready physically for the challenge of each other. And to be quite honest with you, there's really not any other fight to be made. Now, I understand that Bud may fight Canelo, um, but I really wouldn't count on that happening either because I think if Canelo feels like, or Canelo Alvarez production, excuse me, if Canelo Alvarez production feels like their fighter is not gonna fare very well or may struggle, they're not gonna make the fight. They have been, they have really been a whole bunch of pussies. They have really been a whole bunch of pussies up to this point, and they have really been fucking people over as far as matchmaking. So I wouldn't expect them to. I wouldn't expect them to grow a pair of balls and do what they need to make sure that their fighter actually goes out on a legendary note. Um, I think that they feel like Canelo Alvarez, the fighter, is already a Hall of Famer, so they can pretty much do whatever the fuck they want. Um, and again, that's unacceptable. It really is. So if you continue, now I'm gonna just wrap this up because I'm sick of talking about this shit. Um, so to Canelo Alvarez Productions, if you continue to disrespect us, the boxing fans, we're gonna continue to disrespect your bitch ass. And I mean that shit. And at the risk of getting my ass tore up by Canelo Alvarez the fighter, I'm still gonna say, fuck you, Canelo Alvarez Productions. The end. That's it. That's all as far as that subject goes. Yo, fuck y'all. Um, I really want to maybe delve into another subject. Um, but I just, nothing has really come to mind. Uh, nothing has really come to mind that, is for right now is just really worthy to talk about. Now, what I will say is this. Shout out to Clarissa. That's right, Clarissa Shields. Okay, not Clarissa, Clarissa Shields. She has really been shining after this heavyweight win that she's actually had. She's been doing several interviews. She's been getting viral. She's been having viral moments on her accounts and all that great stuff, man. And I wish the quote nothing but the best. Okay, I have been a fan for a very long time. I've really been a fan since that second gold medal. Um, the first gold medal was kind of like, oh, okay, well, who is that and all of that. But that second gold medal really got my attention. Um, so yeah, big shout outs to her, man. Um, it really does my heart good to see, a strong black woman winning. Okay. Now I know that, some of the family have their opinions about her and all of that, and that's cool. That's respectable. I'm definitely not one to argue with how you feel um, about Clarissa, but for me, and I'm only speaking for myself, I enjoy the fact that she is who she is, inside and outside the ring. So, well, we here, oh, excuse me, you know, myself, Brent Fox here at the very small channel of It's Just Me, definitely celebrate and appreciate you. And I definitely hope that you are able um, to be undisputed at heavyweight and be undisputed for a third time. Um, I think that would be I think that would be historic and wonderful, and I appreciate what you're doing for women's boxing as well. Mm, yeah, I really do. Um, so I think on that note, um, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and wrap up. Got several things going on here, um, and they need to be, of course, attended to. But thank you all so much for those of y'all that have popped in or tuned in and hung in here with me for the whole episode. I definitely appreciate y'all. And I want to give big shout outs to my brothers. So, first, I'm going to start off with my brother, Coach 67 Sports TV. He is a phenom, man, especially when it comes to Southern sports reporting, the University of Southern um, sports reporting. He is phenomenal at what he does. Anybody that's interested in HBCU football, please tune in to him and my other brother, Jared O11 Green, who who popped in on the show as well. Um, my him I'm sorry, him, Coach 67, myself occasionally, Joseph Townsend occasionally, um, Jared's brother JB definitely, and sometimes even Jay Good pops in. Uh, he has a show, the Southern Baller Show, that usually comes on. I would say Sundays around 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Um, there's a whole plethora of subjects that he actually talks about that are, sports related. Primarily, they focus on HBCU football. They actually focus on NFL on occasion as well, and also, the Power Five conferences too, on occasion. But they really have a very entertaining and insightful show. My brother, Coach 67, has basically a coaches show that he does on Saturday afternoons. Usually those come on YouTube. I would say probably around 2 or 2:30. Um, it is, excuse me, it is very quality content too as well. Hang on just a second, y'all. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Um, Now, yeah, he has very good and quality content. He does not miss a beat. Any subject that he is basically on is very well researched, very well planned, and meticulously thought out. And his presentation of facts, to me, are unmatched. So yes, if y'all have a chance, you know, check out my brother's show, Coach 67. Coach's show Saturdays on YouTube and all other social media platforms as well. That usually comes on around 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, of course. Um, and then we also have my brother Cadillac Reds shows with an S. He did he also did like a coach's corner on, I think it was Tuesday. That's a phenomenal show. You can check that out on YouTube. He did a phenomenal job on that. His shows usually have shifted. Yeah, his shows shift. I think they're now, I think, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard. So yeah, please check that out. He's he is very funny, man. Red is hilarious, but um, his content is also very insightful and very educational. Um, it's a perfect blend of humor and heart. You'll love his show. I guarantee you'll love his shows. He has BSing on the Beltway, which he does with the usual suspect six, which includes, of course, my brothers KG, Oddfellow, 503 Line, Stay Ready. Um, and then we got Act Reacher, and I get the name of names, man. I hope that I ain't left nobody out. Of course, Red's on there. Um, yeah, wait. So yeah, it's KG, Red, Oddfella, Act Reacher, 503, um, and then Stay Ready. Kano Loco, I think, is like the um, is like the seventh suspect, really, or the unofficial suspect. But yeah, he's on there too, man. And he offers a good time as well. And y'all check out Kano Loco Sports while you're at it. Um, but yeah, I think I've been babbling enough about my brothers and all that other good stuff. Um, and salute to my LDBC family. I'll never stop talking about the family reunion that we actually had a couple of weeks ago. Still great memories. I look forward to the next one. And, speaking of the next one, I will holler at y'all next show. I got to get this wrapped up. Peace, y'all.